Hello, everybody. Joey the Truth Wagner with you, folks. Welcome into another episode of the Truth Serum. And everybody, these weeks, they're going by like days because it's time to make our picks again for week number 7 in the NFL year already. And everybody, if you haven't yet, would really appreciate if you could click the like button on the video, like it, so I know you're enjoying it. And if you're brand new to the channel, would really appreciate if you could give it a sub, and also if you could share this video too. But once again, I have Victor here with me for his picks as well. Are you ready to go, Victor?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Okay, so let's start with Thursday night football. As everyone, there is a Thursday night game this week. And this Thursday night game is like the Thursday night games of like 5 or 6 years ago. The 1-5 Giants travel to the 1-4-1 Eagles. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the winner will be second place in the division. Who do you have, Victor?
Well, honestly, I think considering how bad New York has been this year, they've looked a little better than the other team in New York. But I gotta go the better quarterback in this situation. Don't think I'm too confident on it, but I do like what I've been seeing from Carson Wentz, against teams like the Steelers and the Eagles. I mean, not the Eagles, the Ravens, Steelers and Ravens. So I'm gonna go Philadelphia. I got the Eagles winning.
Yeah, this one is very tough to read because the Giants played okay on Sunday. The Eagles, the last 2 weeks, have played close to Pittsburgh and Baltimore. But with the Eagles, their tight end, Zach Ertz, is out 3 to 4 weeks with an injury, so he won't be playing in this Thursday night game. Their running back, Miles Sanders, is out with some sort of lower body. The Eagles' O-line isn't great. So it's like Carson Wentz and a bunch of nothing, really. Carson Wentz and a bunch of nothing. And is Carson Wentz and a bunch of nothing good enough to beat the Giants? And they're not really that great on defense. I mean, Dallas shred them up. I know they played better against Washington on Sunday. But it's Kyle Allen in Washington. It is an abomination for all of us that this is a nationally televised game. And I'm just going with the Eagles because of Carson Wentz. And that's basically it. Even with all the injuries, I think he'll find a way to get it done, sort of like he did last year at the end of the season where he was throwing the practice squad receivers and won the division. So he has a history of doing that. I'll go with the Eagles, but I am not confident at all. Wow, what a terrible matchup. Could be worse. It could be the Jets. And don't worry, folks, we'll be getting to that one soon. But next up, we have the Lions at the Falcons. The Falcons came off of a big blowout win of Minnesota. I didn't see that coming. Detroit coming off of a win against Jacksonville last week. And Victor, who do you have here? Because you know about my rule about not going with Atlanta, but who knows?
Look, bro, I got the same rule. And I know I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to go with Atlanta, but that's going to come back to haunt me.
Yeah. Like I said, Matt Ryan and company put 40 up on that Minnesota defense last week. I've always loved the offensive talent on Atlanta. I've always loved their talent. I don't know how they can be this awful. I don't know if it was a coaching thing or if it was a scheme thing or whatnot, but I don't know. But yeah, I was the one who came up with the rule, never pick Atlanta. And it took me about going with Atlanta about 15 times before I finally learned. And I have finally learned Detroit is a little bit of a real football team with Matthew Stafford. I'll go with Detroit. Am I very confident? No. The next one I think we'll be very confident on. Victor, who you got? Bills and Jets.
Bills. Do we even have to discuss?
No. Bills. Next. All of the Jets fans won't like us now.
Hey man, get your franchise right.
Well, even the more shocking thing is Adam Gase is still the head coach. That's more shocking out of anything. But what a mess of a franchise, and I feel so bad for Sam Darnold. I hope that someone like the Colts gets him out of that torture hole.
Yep.
And if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I run as fast as I can from the New York Jets. I pull an Eli. I'm dead serious.
Not to get off track here, but could you see him stay another year if it comes down to that?
Yeah, he seems like a really good grounded guy to me. From what I've read, he's a Christian. He was involved in the social justice stuff going on. So he's a good grounded guy. I think he might stay because when else in your life are you gonna be literally the superstar where you are? I mean,
Yep.
at Clemson right now, he is the man.
Yep.
And all of that talent around him. But anyway, next game, sorry to burst your bubble, Jets fans. But next game here, a matchup in the AFC North. Second matchup of the year between these two teams. The first time they played was Week 2 Thursday Night Football. It was very close, 35-30, Cleveland beating the Bengals. But this time it is in Cincinnati. And Victor, who do you got here? Because Cleveland looked like the old Cleveland last week.
They look like the old Cleveland Browns. Joe Burrow's been Joe Burrow, considering they lost the lead to Indy, but something tells me that this can be a game easily Cincinnati can win. But I'm gonna go with the better roster, and I'm gonna go with the better overall team, and I'm gonna go Cleveland. But a lot of me wants to pick Cincinnati. I might change my pick before we end the video. I might.
Yeah, this one I'm going back and forth on. I will say this, Baker Mayfield, on Sunday, I thought when he was benched, it was a performance benching.
Right.
Which was why my reaction was what it was. Because to me, it looked like he was benched for performance for the rest of the fourth quarter. He was on the sideline. And he wasn't in the tent. But after some information that I got today from an awesome viewer who informed me of it, they were thinking that it was injury-based, that the Steelers hit him in the ribs to the point where he couldn't throw the football. I will say this, best recovery, well wishes, and recovery to Baker Mayfield. And everybody, if you do see my reaction with Baker Mayfield and him being benched, I did not know he was hurt to the point where he couldn't come back into the game. To me, it looked like a performance benching because he played pretty bad. And everybody, if you don't watch my channel that much, I'm doing the play-by-play, so if the broadcasters are saying anything, I don't know.
Right.
But that's a whole nother tangent, just wanted to make that clear. But yeah, the Browns are the way better team, and Burrow will keep it close, especially this game is in Cincinnati. But I'm going to go with the better roster by a mile, Cleveland, but I wouldn't be shocked if Cincinnati won. They played close again last week. They had a 3-possession lead on the Colts and blew it, so we'll see. Next up, another game in the NFC least. Dallas at Washington? Yeah.
5-star match. Dallas. I'm gonna go Dallas, even though from what I saw on Monday Night Football was pretty embarrassing. But you gotta go Dallas. They're gonna probably come here and bounce back.
At least Dallas has elite offensive talent. I believe Andy Dalton is a much better quarterback than Kyle Allen.
I would assume.
I would hope so. But I'm going Dallas, and again, the confidence factor in these early games, except for the Buffalo game, the confidence isn't that high. But I'll go Dallas. Next up, Packers at Houston. Get a matchup between Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson. Who do you have here, Victor?
Houston had a very good game against the Titans. Although those are division rivals, they always play each other pretty tough. Aaron Rodgers was getting smacked around against Tampa. Green Bay had a really tough game. Green Bay's going on the road. If you ask me, this is going to be a bounce back game for the Packers, but I expect it to be very close, believe it or not. So I'm going to go Green Bay.
Yeah, some of your points I agree with. You take J.J. Watt off of that Houston defense, and their defense is a my pillow. It's a pillow fight out there. Aaron Rodgers gonna bounce back. Just too talented to keep him down like that for the second week in a row. He's gonna come out motivated and ready to go. I'll go Green Bay. Fairly confident on that one. Okay, next up, as we continue in the 1 p.m. window, a matchup in the NFC South. One of the shocks of the NFL this year. The Carolina Panthers at 3-3, taking on the Saints, who are 3-2. Saints are coming off of a bye, and this game is being played in New Orleans.
I think the Saints are coming off of a bye. I think the Saints are the better team. I don't doubt what they're trying to do there in Carolina, but I just don't think this is the year. I think they're going to fall into a better team, and I got New Orleans in the dome, although there's no fans.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints too. Sean Payton, very smart offensive mind. He's coming off of a bye week, which is a big help. Carolina's defense, I don't think their defense is that great. So it'll be a very good day for Alvin Kamara. And the Saints will be getting their best wide receiver, Michael Thomas, back from injury, which will be a huge boost for the Saints. And we'll see if Drew Brees can throw the ball more than 3 yards down the field. But I will go with the Saints, and I feel decent about this one. Everybody, the game of the week we will save for last. The game of the week, we'll come back to this one, and personally, at minimum, because it's too late to flex it to prime time for Sunday night. That's too late to do. But I think at minimum, the game should be flexed into the 4:25 window. Those are just my thoughts. But anyway, we'll talk about that game later, as we have made it to the 4 p.m. window, and this is a very underrated matchup here. A lot of the people, Victor, in the country aren't going to see this one, and I think it's going to be a really good one. Russell Wilson, 5-0 Seattle, going to Arizona. They're 4-2 and coming off of a very impressive win on the road on Monday night against the Cowboys.
I will be the first to say that Kyler Murray has been living up to expectations. I think he has a security blanket in DeAndre Hopkins. I think this Arizona offense in general can drop 30 if they feel like it. Not saying that they can do it to anybody, but a lot of people around the league will tell you that if it wasn't for Russell Wilson on the Seattle side of things, that's a 6-win team. So I think this has shootout all over it, but I'm going to go Seattle because when it gets down to the clutch times, are you going to bet against Russell Wilson this year? No. So Seattle all the way. But I expect a shootout.
Yeah, me too. Arizona's defense, they've given up points and yards to some teams. Seattle's defense has given up some points and yards to a bunch of teams.
And
I'll
Seattle
say
doesn't
that
have a pass rush either. But keep that in mind. There's no pass rush with the Seahawks. So.
they don't. They have no pass rush, but at least they have a couple of A-plus talents on their defense in linebacker Bobby Wagner and safety Jamal Adams. They do have a couple of A-plus guys on defense. Arizona, I don't think does. I don't think Patrick Peterson is an A-plus guy anymore. He's older now. He was suspended a year or two ago, so he's not that A-plus level. And Russell Wilson is playing like a man who wants to win the MVP. And time and time again, he brings them back. And he'll do it again and get them to 6-0. I'll go Seattle. Next up, matchup in the AFC West, the 425 window. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs go to Denver to take on Drew Lock.
Well, the Broncos, they surprised me beating New England, although, New England kid can't back in the lineup, and New England doesn't seem to have a deep threat. Kansas City, these past couple games hasn't been impressing me as much, but I'm not going to say Drew Lock has beaten Patrick Mahomes, so I got Kansas City winning this.
Me too. I'll go with the Chiefs. And don't underestimate the Kansas City defense. They held Buffalo and a very, very good quarterback in Josh Allen to 17 points tonight.
Wow.
And also, another thing here, Kansas City added an element to their game against the Bills that we haven't seen from them. As a team, they rushed for well over 200 yards.
Yep.
So if they have to, they can play that pound-the-rock ball control game if need be. They're just by far the better team, and that's why I'm going with them.
Yeah.
Next up, another 425 game. San Francisco coming off of their first home win of the season on Sunday Night Football, going cross-country to take on Cam Newton in New England. For the first time since the Jimmy Garoppolo trade, Jimmy G facing Belichick.
This is San Francisco going on the road. Although there's not much of a home field advantage anywhere, I do think you get a little bit of lag from traveling that far. New England takes away the best thing you do, so I think the Niners are going to have some trouble running the ball here. I think it's just a matter of can Cam and the Patriots get enough on offense to get going? Because although the Niners are injured and depleted, that's still a very good D-line, still a very good defense. If you ask me, I guess it just comes down to who do you trust more, Cam Newton or Jimmy G? And I'm going to take Cam Newton every day of the week, so I got the Patriots in a very close game, very close.
I have a feeling this game is going to be dominated by defense, and there's not going to be a lot of points scored.
Yeah.
Like I said, Belichick doesn't lose 2 games in a row very much. I believe New England has lost their last 2 games, and I can't remember the last time they've lost 3 in a row.
Not in my lifetime.
And what Bill Belichick does better than any other coach in this league on the defensive side of the football is take away your best weapons on offense. So George Kittle is going to probably go poof. And the running game is probably going to go poof. And who knows Jimmy Garoppolo better than Bill Belichick? Because of that, and I feel Cam will bounce back from having a terrible game against the Broncos. I'll go New England, but it'll be close and not a lot of points. Next up, the final 425 game of the day. A couple of teams battling for top 5, top 10 picks in the NFL draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars go to LA to take on the 1-4 Chargers.
I got Justin Herbert. I'm taking the Chargers. Point period blank.
Yes, what has been crazy about the Chargers is that in these 3 games, that Justin Herbert has started, they've had late leads in all of them. They've just blown all of them, and not because of him. He has played great, and the Chargers have their franchise quarterback for the next decade. They got him. He's really good now, and he's gonna get his first NFL win.
Yep.
Chargers. Now this Sunday night game, this is interesting. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks at 4-2 go into Vegas to take on the Raiders for a Sunday night game in that new stadium in Vegas.
I think this is I mean, the Raiders have shown you that they can compete. I mean, considering maybe the dysfunction, they can compete. I think they can drop 30 when they feel like it to a certain extent, but I'm going to just go on a limb and say the Tampa defense is maybe a little too much for the Raiders, and I do think the Patriots from an offensive standpoint are just starting to click. I meant Tampa. If I said the Patriots, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Tom Brady. I think the Bucs are just starting to click on all cylinders, so I got to go Tampa Bay.
They are. You look at the defenses. Huge edge to Tampa. Tampa has a much better defense than the Vegas Raiders. I do know that Vegas can put points up. Remember how they put the points up on the Saints on that Monday night game earlier in the year? So Vegas can put up points. I think the Tampa defense is better. And going with another one of my rules here. I'm going with Tom. That has rarely steered me wrong. I'm going with Tom. And I think it'll be a good, fun game, though. But I'm going with Tampa Bay to get the close win on the road. And now the Monday night game. I'm shocked that the combined records of these two teams is 9-3. The 5-1 Chicago Bears taking on the 4-2 LA Rams.
Well, Chicago came off of a win that was pretty close with a team in Carolina that I don't think is very well. Chicago has beat Tampa Bay, but the Rams are coming off of a loss on Sunday night, and I'm going to go the Rams here. I think Jared Goff, I think Sean McVay, I think they're just the better team. I'm going to go the Rams.
I just enjoy watching, as a fan, I just enjoy watching a Sean McVay play-called game on offense. Would you agree? You enjoy watching the Rams offense?
Yes, I enjoy watching the Rams. Yes, I enjoy Sean McVay in general.
I'm going with the Rams because I think their offense will get it together. And for the Bears, who's going to stop Aaron Donald? I don't see it happening. He gets double teamed, and the team still can't stop him. I think it'll be sort of a low scoring-ish game. I'll go 23. 19. Just a guess. 23-19 for the tiebreaker score on the pick'em. And now, everybody, the game that you've been waiting for, the game that you've been waiting to talk about, the game that all of us want to see flexed to the 425 window. A matchup of two unbeatens. A game that should have happened 3 weeks ago. But it's happening this Sunday. The 5-0 Steelers taking on the 5-0 Titans. The Steelers coming off of a blowout win against Cleveland, 38-7. And Tennessee coming off of a very close overtime win against their division rival in Houston. I'll let Victor start, so it gives me an extra 45 seconds or so to think.
Oh my God! Thanks for putting all the pressure on me, man. But I think that the Titans are very capable to drop 30 on anybody in this league. I think the Titans are for real. I think Ryan Tannehill is for real as a top 10 quarterback in this league, maybe even top 8. I think the defense for the Titans is maybe not the best, but I definitely think they have a pass rush. I think Derrick Henry's the best running back I've seen in my lifetime. This is a man who's 6'4", maybe almost 6'5", and he's 260, who can run maybe about a 4.4 and catch passes out the backfield. But I will say Pittsburgh has the best defense against the run. But what's scaring me a little bit is that we're coming off of a week where we just lost Devin Bush. And albeit I still think the defense is going to be great, but I wonder if we're going to be able to have someone come in a week and have him be the quarterback on our defense, and when you're facing a guy like Derrick Henry. I'm going to go Tennessee. I think the Steelers lose their first game of the season in a very close game. I'm going to go Tennessee. I just think that Pittsburgh, they're going to have to lose eventually, and I think it's better for... No, I'm going Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to win this game. Because I think... Oh, my God. I don't know, Joey. I don't know. Could you go? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll go. Like I said, I'll give my thoughts on the game, and then we can make our pick at the same time. Okay? My gosh, I feel like Regis Philbin. Is that your final answer?
Oh my God, man. We match up really well with these guys. And this team is not no scrub, so...
Yeah, Tennessee. I'm saying it out of my mouth today. You are not frauds. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the first 3 weeks of the season thinking that you were frauds and saying so.
You too.
I was wrong. It doesn't happen often, but I was wrong. But I will say this. With the Steelers, if there was a game that would be a slight lull in their schedule, it would be this one. And here's why. The Steelers are coming off of a highly emotional division game against Cleveland. The Steelers...
I would say Tennessee's coming off of an even way more emotional divisional game too also, though.
That's what makes this tough.
Exactly. But continue. Sorry to cut you.
No, it's fine. That's what makes this tough. The Steelers specifically wanted to make a statement to Cleveland with everything that the Browns said during last week's game with Kareem Hunt standing up for a helmet swinger. Here's the thing, Victor. Both of them came off of highly emotional games last week. This is where the difference comes in. The game after Tennessee, the Steelers have another highly emotional game in the division. You could argue even higher than Cleveland when they travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. So after this game, the Steelers go to Baltimore. Tennessee, after this game, travels to Cincinnati and plays Joe Burrow.
Okay. Now I know my pick.
That is a huge part of this, I think. I think both teams are very, very good. I mean, really, really, really good. Derrick Henry has turned into this unstoppable force. I knew he was a great runner when he was, in college. I never knew he could catch the football out of the backfield like this.
Yeah.
He had over 250 yards from total yards against Houston.
Yep, 264 to be exact.
And in his career, you might... And, I did this at first. I looked at Derrick Henry, and I'm like, oh, he's just a big bruising back. Doesn't have the breakaway speed. Wrong. Last week, had a 94-yard touchdown run. earlier in his career, a year or two ago, it was a Thursday night game against Jacksonville. He had a 99-yard rushing touchdown. So he has the size and the speed. And I will say this when it comes to defense. This season, the Steelers in each game has had a minimum of 1 interception and 3 sacks in each game.
Wow.
So the Steelers are going to get their plays on defense, but Tennessee is too good of an offense where they're going to get theirs too. So this could easily be a game like where with the Eagles, the Steelers played okay, had 2 turnovers, 5 sacks, and still gave up 29 points.
I think that's what's going to happen. I also think you hope. I think this offense is so explosive I think they're a better version of the Ravens, if I'm being honest, because they have the element to throw the ball with Brian Tannehill. I think.
And down the field too.
Yes, exactly. I think Pittsburgh, to me, the answer is. I like what you mentioned about the schedules. I like that. I think it seems a little more comfortable to say Pittsburgh wins and then drops to Baltimore next week, and then Tennessee comes off a loss and bounces back against Cincy. But back to just the game itself, the main question to me is, will Pittsburgh outscore Tennessee? And I don't think there's anybody on the Tennessee defense that can hold Claypool or Juju. I think if you decide to if people start deciding to double Claypool, it's going to be very dangerous because now you're leaving a guy with Juju Smith-Schuster one-on-one, which is you don't want to do that. Trust me. I don't know if we can do this. Is Deante Johnson playing? What's his injury status?
He missed Sunday's game with a back injury. I don't believe there's not going to be any more updated information probably until Wednesday at the earliest, I would think.
There's just a lot of little things.
Yeah, David DeCastro, our all-pro guard. Does he come back? Does he not? Because he missed the Browns game on Sunday.
This is my question, and then we'll settle it here. Pittsburgh, can they keep up with the scoring? Can they keep up with it? Because our defense is going to hold them, but I think our defense, even if they have a bad day, or even if Tennessee has a bad game, I think Tennessee is still going to be scoring around 24 points, 24 to 28 points. It's just pick your poison at this point. So, I don't know. You ready to make the pick?
Not yet. I'm looking up something right now. I'm looking up the defensive stats for Tennessee. And here's another thing, Victor. I saw a video of it on Twitter earlier today. Mike Vrabel for Tennessee is a really, 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 really good head coach. You can tell that he was taught by Belichick with how he manages the clock and how he'll manipulate situations to his advantage. This is what he did. This is what he did in the Houston game on Sunday. Okay? So it was the fourth quarter. There was about 3 minutes to go. Houston was driving down the field. At the time, Houston was down by 1. Houston ended up going down and scoring a touchdown to take the lead. But they were, at this time, it was 3 minutes to go. They were already in field goal range. And they had a 2nd and 1 with 3:05 to go. For the Titans, Vrabel purposely sent a 12th man onto the field on defense. And what happened was that Tennessee got called for 12 men on the field. So instead of Houston running a 2nd and 1 play, a 2nd down and 1, it just automatically gave them the first down, and the penalty stopped the clock, which that Houston would have probably ran it for the first down anyway, with it being 2nd and 1, and they would have ran 40 more seconds off the clock. Houston went down and scored. Tennessee went down and tied the game with 4 seconds left because they had the extra time because of that. So, in terms of stuff like that, In terms of stuff like that, I give the edge to Vrabel over Tomlin. And Tomlin has done really, really good work the last 2 years, especially last year with Duck and Mason, and this year getting this team to be 5-0 and, without a bye week.
Yes.
He's kept them focused. He's done a really good job. But in terms of game management like that, advantage Tennessee. But let me look up the stats here, and the question is here, Victor, the question here for this game is, can you keep Derrick Henry in check?
Correct.
If you can make Tennessee one-dimensional, you have a lot better of a chance.
I agree.
My gosh, this is such a hard one to pick. Holy smokes, I'm looking here at Tannehill this year, 13 touchdowns, 2 picks. Derrick Henry has rushed for he's rushed for 588 yards and 6 touchdowns. And here is some early injury. Oh, wow, now that changes it. Okay. Victor, Tennessee's defense is awful.
Wow.
They're giving up 422 yards a game.
Pittsburgh's my pick.
And in the games this year for Tennessee, 3 of the 5 games they've given up at least 30 points.
Yeah, I gotta go Pittsburgh.
But here's the injury report as updated as it is. Of course, some of these might change. But this is what the injury report is telling me on ESPN, and I think this is what will seal my decision. For Tennessee, their tight end, Jonnu Smith, is questionable. For Tennessee, their left tackle, Taylor Lewan, the Titans, is out for the season. He has a torn ACL. Tennessee's best lineman is out.
Wow.
For the Steelers, of course, Devin Bush is out. We know that already. Mike Hilton and Marquise Pouncey are questionable. It's saying here that Deante Johnson and David DeCastro are out, but I don't know if that just carried over from the Sunday game and it's not updated yet.
Right.
Man. Oh man, Victor, what I should just do is that, when I do my more in-depth Steeler preview on Sunday, I don't have to do it this week. I can just re-record these last 15 minutes and that's the video.
There you go.
I mean, whew.
Let me tell you this. What makes the difference for me? You said Tennessee's defense bad. Tennessee is going to be probably without a tight end, and they just lost their best lineman. What does Tennessee do better than anything?
Run the ball.
Great line, pounding the ball. You just lost your best lineman. Pittsburgh, I think we can survive without Pouncey for a game, but I don't want to lose Hilton just because of the high-poweredness of the offense on Tennessee. So that's going to be a big one for me. But I got to go Pittsburgh. I just think Ben's the better quarterback. That's what I'm going with. Ben is the better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill.
Steelers are favored by 2.
Wow. I think it'd be a little less sometimes. Well, I'd figure not. Sometimes I'd figure.
I'm not a betting person, but I think I would take Tennessee plus 2 just because I was getting points on a game I'm so uncertain of.
Right.
If there would be a game to quote-unquote lose for the Steelers, this would be the one because you'd want to be prepped up and ready for the Ravens the next week. But this game has major top seed implications in the AFC playoffs. So this isn't...
The winner would be the top seed in the AFC, correct?
I'm sorry?
winner would be top seed in the AFC, correct?
Correct. The winner would be top seed in the AFC.
Wow.
These are two really good teams. And I'll say this, Victor. I haven't been this close to picking against the Steelers since we last played New England.
Wow.
But it says here the Steelers are only allowing 66 rush yards per game. That's going to be the game. That's going to be the matchup. Can the Steeler defense slow Derrick Henry down? If they can keep him under 80 to 90 yards, they win this game. Do I think they can do it? I think they can do just enough. Steelers by 1.
Late field goal, I'd say.
Late field goal, and this could be the game of the year, Victor. This could be our Chiefs-Rams from a couple of years ago.
I'm definitely on board with that.
It could definitely be that good. And not to look ahead, but with the gauntlet the Steelers are going through with this schedule, if they beat Tennessee, I don't see how there's energy left in the tank for the Ravens the following week. I'll just say that now.
I know.
But I will go Steelers by 1. And are you going with the Steelers too?
Steelers. Pittsburgh by a very late field goal.
Okay. That's what I'm sticking with for now, unless, we hear, major
Yes.
changes during the week. But we are both going with the Steelers, and everybody, you're probably not going to see us be that unsure about a Steeler game for the rest of the year, because I'll say this. Back in May, when the NFL released their schedule, and I did the win-loss game, quickly look through the schedule, win-loss. The Tennessee game I had as a loss, so I am just going on a hunch here, and I think Roethlisberger has a big day against the Titans because they give up 285 yards passing per game. So I'm expecting a big day out of Ben and those receivers. Well, that is... boy, Victor, that got tense, didn't it?
Nail-biter. A nail-biter for a pick. Yeah.
That got tense at the end. And to... loosen up the mood, everybody. For week number 6, I edged Victor out by 1 pick. It came down to the Arizona-Dallas pick, and he went with the beige water pistol and Andy Dalton.
My time will come soon.
Went with a flare gun. Oh, man. What a... And everybody, I'll say this, so far, this isn't for the spread, but this is for the win-loss picks, folks. Very good start to the year for me. I have never picked the winners at a clip like this. I'm 62, 28, and 1, which is about 68.5% picking the winners. So I'm praying and hoping that keeps up. But everybody, thank you so much for hanging out, tuning in to this wild video going through the picks. Again, everybody, if you haven't yet, please make sure to click the like button on the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We're only a couple subs away from 7,300. So if you would do that, I would really appreciate that. Victor, thank you so much as always for coming on to make the picks. One of the best new things I have done this year. So thank you for that.
Always, my man.
And everybody signing off from the Truth Serum. Joey the Truth Wagner signing off. Folks, have a great night. And have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you as the week goes on, as we get closer to week number 7 in the NFL.